Like Glimmer's Galleon and Rattle Battle, Slime Climb gets a lot of mileage out of taking a tile set found in Gangplank Galleon and making it all green and shit. This level looks fantastic and is oozing with atmosphere. The desperate, unrelenting climb away from the slime makes for an interesting change of pace, and one that adds so much to the overall dynamics of not just Krem Key, but the game itself. That said, it's frustrating. This is part 17 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 2. Come to think of it, Slime Climb is another great example of how older games had to get creative with existing assets to maximize the overall experience of the game. They took a pre-existing tile set, tinted the palette, and introduced the dynamic water level. The only completely new element is Snapjaw, a palette-swapped lockjaw that relentlessly follows the Kongs around. Snapjaw is the main selling point of the level, and the main obstacle. The presence of water in Slime Climb doesn't make this a water level. It's anything but. You have to frantically climb to avoid the rising water, and by extension, Snapjaw. He keeps you out of the water for the most part. The only time you actually go into the water here is when you're hunting for bonus areas and the DK coin. And even then, you're gonna want to grab an invincibility barrel first. That first bonus area feels like quite the leap of faith as you swim down into the depths, following bananas, but with no guarantee there's anything even at the end of the yellow brick road. Other than that, it's a lot like the other rigging levels, with Click Clack, Flitter, Zinger, Neek, Clomp, and Klinger all returning. Cannon and Cruncher show up too, though they aren't around a lot. The yellow clobbers also return, and it's another great level where they're used to full effect. Looking at it now, it's a pretty great spread of bad guys here. 10 by my count. I mentioned it in an earlier episode, but DKC2 really lifted their game with enemy diversity on a level-to-level basis. It's something that I think it does even better than DKC3, which definitely pushed the Super Nintendo to its limits at certain points. Tides aren't really a thing in swamps, not to this extent, which makes me think that what's really happening is the ship is sinking. I don't know what the Kongs, or Rattly for that matter, did to cause it, but I feel that's a better explanation than the tide coming in or something. It makes for a more interesting and dynamic story too. As the Kongs traverse the debris, they put their weight on something unstable and cause the wreckage to shift, and eventually sink into the stagnant water. It also explains why, in the next level, they end up in the dense thicket of giant brambles, far above the ground. Part 17, Dead and Buried. This is another level that I feel falls by the wayside, and despite not being the most fun, it's a really creative level and a great addition to the big picture of Krem Key. This world is nothing but gold in my book. One more level, then the boss, putting us more or less at the halfway point. Thanks for watching.